Imagine an aircraft so significant that the world stops and takes notice, not just because of its size or speed, but because of what it represents. This is the story of China's C919, the country's first independently developed jet mainline airliner. When it first appeared in 2022, many experts were skeptical. After all, for decades, the skies have been dominated by giants like Boeing and Airbus. Could China really build a passenger jet that competes with these global leaders? The answer so far has been a resounding yes. In just a few years, the C919 has racked up over 1,400 orders worldwide. For a brand new aircraft, that's nothing short of extraordinary. Airlines are paying attention, passengers are curious, and competitors are watching closely. But the C919 isn't just about numbers or profits. Its emergence marks something much bigger, a technological leap and a geopolitical shift. It signals that China is moving from being a buyer of high-tech products to a producer that can challenge the old powers. Here's the question that hangs in the air. Can a single aircraft really challenge decades of Western dominance in aviation? Today, we're going to explore exactly how the C919 is doing just that, the obstacles it faces, and why its story could reshape the future of global air travel. To understand why the C919 is such a big deal, we need to look at the global aviation market. For decades, Boeing in the United States and Airbus in Europe have completely dominated the skies. Together, they control about 98% of the global mainline airliner market. That's almost a monopoly. If an airline wanted a new passenger jet, the choice was simple: Boeing or Airbus. There was no real alternative. Chinese airlines, like many others around the world, were limited to this narrow set of options. Prices, designs, and even delivery times were dictated by these two giants. It was like trying to buy a smartphone in a world where only two brands exist. Competition is minimal, and innovation moves at someone else's pace. Enter the C919. Its appearance isn't just another aircraft launch. It disrupts this monopoly. Suddenly, airlines have a choice that didn't exist before. Not only does it offer comparable performance, but it also promises lower costs and more autonomy for buyers. This disruption, however, doesn't sit well with everyone. Western governments, especially the United States, are starting to see China's rise in aerospace as a strategic challenge. When a new player threatens decades of dominance, political and technological pushback is almost inevitable. The stakes are no longer just commercial, they're geopolitical. The C919 isn't just a plane, it's a symbol of a changing global balance in aviation, and with that, the tension is set. Can China really compete with these entrenched giants? Or will the existing power players push back hard enough to slow it down? So far, we've talked about how C919 is shaking up the aviation market, but theory only goes so far. The real proof comes in performance and trust. Since entering commercial service in 2023, the C919 has flown over 23,000 safe flight hours and completed more than 9,600 commercial flights, carrying 1.27 million passengers. For a brand new aircraft, these numbers are impressive. Think of it like a new car model already driving safely across millions of kilometers without major issues. Global airlines are noticing. Countries like Brunei, Indonesia, and Brazil are preparing to add C919s to their fleets. In April, Malaysia Airlines even announced they were considering multiple aircraft from China, including the C919, showing that demand isn't just domestic, it's spreading internationally. Perhaps the most striking example comes from Europe. In May, Ryanair, Europe's largest low-cost airline, openly stated that they would consider purchasing the C919, provided the price was 10 to 20% cheaper than Airbus. That's huge. For a company used to Airbus or Boeing jets, considering a completely new Chinese aircraft is a major vote of confidence. But here's the tension. Even with these successes, the C919 faces serious hurdles ahead. International certification, Supply chain restrictions and geopolitical pressures are looming challenges. The aircraft has proven it can fly and carry passengers safely, but will it fly under global scrutiny and political pressure? That's the story we'll explore next. Flying safely is one thing, but getting permission to fly everywhere is another. In the aviation world, the airworthiness certificate is like a golden ticket. Without it, an aircraft can't enter most international markets. It's not just a rubber stamp, it's a guarantee that the plane meets the strictest safety, design, manufacturing, and operational standards. For the C919, this is a major challenge. The United States and Europe have decades of experience controlling certification processes. Every detail, from the tiniest bolt to the way the engines handle turbulence, is carefully inspected. Getting approved isn't just a matter of proving the plane works. It means convincing regulators that it meets or exceeds the standards set by Boeing and Airbus. There's also another layer of tension. Awarding certification to the C919 would shake up the balance of power between the established giants. Boeing and Airbus dominate the global market, and giving China a green light could threaten their profits and influence. Certification is not only technical, it's political. So now the question hangs in the air. Will the C919 overcome this golden ticket barrier and gain access to international skies, or will politics and bureaucracy slow its climb? Even if the plane itself is ready, the C919 faces another kind of challenge: political pressure from abroad. Starting in 2023, the United States began restricting exports of critical technologies and components to China's commercial aircraft projects. The target? The heart of the C919, its LEAP-1C engine. This engine is no ordinary part. It's a highly complex system that converts fuel into thrust with remarkable efficiency, and it relies on over 30% of its components from the US. Without access to these parts, even building and delivering a single plane becomes much harder. It's like trying to assemble a high-performance sports car without access to the engine manufacturer. It might look complete on the outside, but it won't run. These restrictions created real uncertainty. Potential international buyers began to hesitate, worried about delays or supply chain problems. Even airlines that had already expressed interest had to adopt a wait-and-see approach. The stakes are clear. Can external pressure really stop China's ambitions in aviation? The U.S. hoped that by restricting engines and critical technologies, it could slow down or even halt the rise of the C919. But as we'll see next, China had already been preparing for this possibility. China didn't just sit back when faced with potential engine blockades. Long before the LEAP-1C restrictions became a problem, engineers were already developing a homegrown solution: the Yangc 1000A engine. This wasn't a simple backup. It was a fully independent power system designed to match and even surpass the performance of imported engines. The results are impressive. The Yangc 1000A delivers high thrust while improving fuel efficiency by 3 to 5% and reducing maintenance costs by around 25%. Its advanced design includes high-temperature alloy turbine blades and ceramic composite nozzles, allowing it to operate reliably even under extreme conditions. Thousands of sensors monitor the engine in real time, ensuring it stays in the optimal range no matter the circumstances. By May 2025, C919 prototypes were fitted with the Yangc 1000A engine for 500 hours of test flights, proving the engine's reliability and safety. The localization rate has reached 80%, meaning most components are now produced domestically, reducing dependency on foreign suppliers. What's remarkable is the foresight behind this project. China anticipated potential sanctions and designed the C919 program with resilience built in. With the Yangc 1000A, the aircraft can continue its global expansion without being held back by external restrictions. In other words, even if geopolitical pressures rise, the C919 has the power, literally and strategically, to keep flying. Here's Step 7, the future, CJ2000 engine and global expansion. While the Yangc 1000A secures the C919, China isn't stopping there. The next step is the CJ2000 engine, built for the larger C929 aircraft, China's answer to long-haul, wide-body jets like the Boeing 787 and Airbus A350. With a maximum thrust of up to 35 tons, the CJ2000 matches some of the most advanced engines in the world. This engine isn't just powerful, it's efficient. Fuel consumption is reduced by around 15% per flight, which means airlines can save tens of tons of fuel on long-haul routes. That's like cutting a significant chunk of operating costs while also lowering emissions. The CJ2000 achieves this with a 12-to-1 high bypass ratio, advanced gear transmission, and state-of-the-art turbine blade technology that can withstand extreme heat up to 1,700 degrees Celsius. China's strategy here is clear: build a full aerospace ecosystem, not just a single aircraft. From engines to sensors to certification systems, every component is being developed domestically, ensuring independence and competitiveness. Even if the US or Europe tries to block certain technologies, China is creating a system where these restrictions have minimal impact. The rise of the CJ2000 and the C929 is proof that China is not just entering the aviation market, it's aiming to reshape it. The story of C919 was just the beginning. The future points toward a global expansion where Chinese aircraft can fly confidently on long-haul international routes, challenging the dominance of Boeing and Airbus on every front. The story of the C919 is more than just the launch of a new airplane. It's a journey of ambition, innovation, and resilience. From shaking up the Boeing Airbus monopoly to winning the trust of passengers and airlines worldwide, the C919 has already proven that China can compete on the global aviation stage. Even when faced with geopolitical pressure and supply chain restrictions, China responded with ingenuity, developing the Yangc 1000A engine and pushing forward plans for the CJ2000 and larger C929 aircraft. These achievements show that technological independence isn't just a dream. It's a reality that can withstand external challenges. The broader impact is clear. The skies are no longer the exclusive domain of Western manufacturers. China has joined the race, and the future of global aviation is beginning to shift toward a more competitive, multipolar world. So here's the question to leave you with. If one aircraft can challenge decades of dominance, what does this mean for the future of flight? If you want to stay updated on the latest breakthroughs in aviation and follow China's aerospace revolution, subscribe to our channel, turn on notifications, and don't miss our next stories. The journey is just beginning, and the skies are wide open.